by Representative Wiley to report HB 125 as amended. Do we have any objections? Hearing none, let HB 125 as amended be reported. Thank you so much. Representative Horton, do you want to go to HB 158?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez on the instrument.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Members, this is House Bill 158 by Representative Horton. Provides relative to technical violations of probation.
Representative Horton on your bill.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman Committee. The amendment increases the maximum penalty for technical custodial treatment for probation violations from 90 days to 180 days, and I'll let the experts explain to you why it's needed.
Thank you so much, Ms. Devining. Ms. Bush, who wants to go?
Ms. Bush, in your wheelhouse.
The courts, when the court orders treatment, technical custodial treatment, it can also often take several days, upwards of 45 days, to even get them into the program. So this would allow more time for the offender to receive treatment. And this mirrors our parole technical custodial length.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Bonning, you good, or did you have anything to add?
No, ma'am. I do need to correct something. I was told to make sure that I note that I'm the executive counsel for the Department of Public Safety and Corrections, and not just the Department of Corrections.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, thank you for that clarification. We appreciate
No,
that.
that's important to my boss.
Absolutely. So on your cards in the future, you might want to write that too.
I will.
Because I think your boss wrote DPS&C and you wrote Executive Council DOC, just for the record.
Apologies, Secretary Westcott.
Thank you so much. And we do have a white card from Secretary Westcott representing DPS&C. We'll provide information if requested. We have Vice Chair LaFleur.
Yes, Ms. Bush, right? What are the technical violations we're speaking of in this bill?
So if you are not a sex offender or a violent offender, this isn't all-inclusive, but a failed drug screen, a missed appointment, minor violations, we can allow them to receive a technical revocation. So in this case, it would be up to 180 days in treatment, and then they would continue on supervision.
And those days are in treatment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. The board is clear. We have green cards in support not wishing to speak by Brad Burgett, District Attorney, 7th JDC. We have Zach Daniels in support not wishing to speak, Executive Director of Louisiana District Attorneys Association, and President in support not wishing to speak, Darren Alamon with the Jefferson Parish DA's office. We have some red cards in opposition. Representative Horton and Mr. Vonning and Ms. Bush, if y'all want to clear the table, we'll go ahead and get the opposition up. Sarah Whittington with the ACLU is in opposition and would like to speak. Mr. Yancey, I have a card for you, but you didn't mark. Is Chico Yancey here? He's downstairs. I'll just go ahead and note that he's in opposition, not wishing to speak since he's not here. Asti, I forgot to tell y'all need to write so I can read your name. Asti, how do you pronounce your last name? Oh, okay. Asti Robbins, present in opposition, but does not wish to speak. And Mr. Riley, Bruce Riley, present and would like to speak. So, Mr. Riley, if you want to come on up to the table. And let's see, one more. Present in opposition, not wishing to speak, by Chandra Shea Foster with the Southern Poverty Law Center. Ms. Whittington, you want to go first?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Sarah Whittington with the ACLU of Louisiana. Here in opposition, and likely what I would ask for is a potentially just small fix to make it align to what we just heard from Ms. Bush. She said that this was intended to only apply to folks who have been assigned to treatment. That's not the way that I currently read what is being proposed. Right now, the paragraph that this amends, it does not apply to crimes of violence, it does not apply to sex offenses, but it also is not specific only to these assignments for treatment. I can understand, and when we changed this law and made it discretionary, Chairwoman Villio, with your bill, I understand that it was up to 90 days, but that will be jail time. If we're going to provide for an extension to 180 days, I believe for the intent of this bill, if it should only be for these technical violations and only for the purposes of treatment, that needs to be specified. I do worry that judges will read this and potentially see that they could sentence a technical violation. Maybe it's their first missed appointment, maybe it's their 14th missed appointment, but it is only missed appointments because of maybe work or childcare or any of the things that come up in our lives that folks have to face. I would hate for someone to then face a sentence of 180 days in jail, which will then completely undercut their reentry, undercut their ability to successfully reintegrate and get the job, keep their family together, pay their bills, and everything else. So here in opposition, just because I'm not seeing the intent to extend the time as this bill is currently drafted. Thank you.
Ms. Whittington, after we finish with the opposition, I'll call Ms. Bush back up to see if we can clarify that, see what we can do in that regard. But thank you. The board is clear. Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the committee, Bruce Riley with vote. Building off of what my colleague Sarah Whitney just said, it doesn't seem clear to me whether this is a treatment-based or just putting people in jail-based. And I heard a phrase I hadn't really heard before, custodial treatment, in a way that, is it applying to, let's say, some mental health programming or some substance abuse programming, or is the custody the treatment? I'm not quite sure what the intent was, and I'm not saying that they mean one thing or the other. I'm just saying it's not clear to me. I just wanted to point out, as we all know, when people are on probation and maybe, hanging on a thread or very between spaces, it's tough to go from $8 an hour to $10 an hour, from $10 an hour to $16 an hour. It's tough to get the things one needs to keep their apartment together, to have some belongings, to have a place to sleep, to have a fork, knife, and a spoon, and maybe a microwave. And if someone spends, more than a hot minute in jail, and if they do more than, let's say, weekends in jail, which is always an option for some people to do the weekend warrior approach, you can risk losing it all, those things that have been built up. And I don't think that's in anybody's interest to take somebody who's just barely kind of at the hump and then over something where they didn't commit a new crime and then say, we're going to make sure you lose it all and go really back, not just to square one, but maybe even below square one, and then maybe lose, additional hope and faith that they may have in themselves, which is really a big part of making it in the world when you're dealing with the probationary status. So I'll just stop there, and I appreciate you all making. And the other thing I would just say, too, is, I'm not sure what kind of fiscal impact this would have over the big picture. How many people are we talking about with probation violations that are technical in nature? How many are getting 30 days right now? How many are getting 6 months or 60 days, rather, 180 days? What would this actually look like if we played it out? Even if there was just projections of, if this were to happen, this is how much we'd end up spending. If that were to happen, that's how much we were spending. We know the jails around the state are, in some places, bursting at the seams. And so to have somebody spend an extra week more than they're currently doing, an extra month more than they're currently doing, or extra 6 months can really make a difference in how people can manage their local jail. And they may be coming out of appropriations next year begging for more money because they need to expand their jail than what they already have. So thank you for hearing me out.
Mr. Riley, the one thing I would tell you that if we can catch a probationer who has a failed drug screen and get them treatment and turn them around and keep them from recidivating and from going back to jail on another crime, I think it's worth whatever money it costs to do that. But the board is clear. That's the only comment I'll make. I'll bring the Representative Horton back up. And Ms. Bush, if you could help me with the comments by Ms. Whittington, and I'm not suggesting, your intent or Representative Horton's intent is one or the other, but just if you understood her position and you could help me with that.
Yes. So looking at the bill, our intent was for custodial treatment, but I do see that may not be clear as written.
Okay. Is it something that you think we can cure by amendment in committee, or is it something that we would do better working on? And it's up to y'all. If y'all have wording that we can take an amendment in committee, I'm happy to do that. Whatever y'all think.
Madam Chair, actually, I don't want to do that because I worry that I don't want to be right back in the same spot, that we're trying to fix something like on the fly.
Sure.
But I do think it's an easy tweak.
Okay.
Ms. Bush is correct. That the intent is not just to add double the amount of time that people are being sent to prison. So
Ms. Whittington, I would invite you, if you want to help work with us between now and the floor, to get some wording to clarify it rather than trying to do it on the fly and not doing the best job we can. And I know the author doesn't mind. We will commit to working between now and the floor to get that in a better posture.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And I think that takes care of the opposition. Representative Horton, you want to go ahead and close on your bill?
I appreciate the testimony, and we look forward to working to get it in the right posture, and I thank you for your favorable passage.
Thank you so much. Do we have a motion? We have Rep. Horton is moving Rep. Horton to report HB 125, or is it
158.
158 favorably? Do we have any objections? Hearing none, let HB 158 be reported favorably. And I think you have one more. Is that correct, Representative Horton?